Yeah, and
Uh,
prior to that, you did mention that you ended up back in the DFW area, playing gigs and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and that was such a valuable time from 73, 74 until 80, until I moved to Nashville. I played a bunch of country gigs. Um, you could always have a gig playing country music, you know,
Yeah, in
and
Texas, that's an easy thing. Yeah.
it's like a 5 night a week,
Yep.
5 sets a night kind of dance hall gig. And then in the daytime, I had a rock and roll band around the Dallas area called Hot Sauce,
Yep.
and we were it was like a cross between the band and ZZ Top or something. It's like we were more song oriented, but we rocked out as much as we could, and it was really we had really good intentions, and nothing ever happened. We never really got a record deal or anything, but I was able to make a living playing bars.
And during this time, is that when Delbert McClinton kind of came along and you guys formed a
Well, yeah,
pretty.
I met Delbert. Probably played the first gigs with him because of my friend Tommy Spurlock, who I'd actually met in Los Angeles when I was still there, and then we all moved back. He was from Fort Worth. I was from Dallas area, and so anyway, um, it's kind of how I met Delbert and Glenn. They had that first Delbert and Glenn record, and that was the record that I just lived my life around. That record, I listened to it all the time, and that was my introduction to Delbert. And the first time I played gigs with Delbert was probably 75, 74, 75. He had made Victim of Life Circumstances record,
Yeah.
and in Nashville by then, and we're playing some of those songs, and yeah, that's how. And so I kept playing with him through the 70s, off and on. We had our first baby when in 76, and I didn't want to leave town to go out with Delbert, but I'd go out with him occasionally, and then I'd come back and just stay home. And then by 78, probably was the last time before I went out on a little tour with him until I moved to Nashville in 80, and then he moved to Nashville maybe uh, 87 or
Yeah.
something like
And you
that.
guys ended up he ended up cutting 35 plus
Yeah,
songs of
he
yours.
moved to Nashville, and we started writing a lot of songs together, and we had he got a deal with this new label that was started called Rising Tide,
Yep.
and Emery Gordy was going to produce, and I wrote every song on the record with Delbert, or there are three or songs that I'd written with other people or something, and so Emery had me be the co-producer because we did all the work tapes together, and so I got to co-produce that first Delbert record, um, called "One of the Fortunate Few," co-production with Emery Gordy, who's the most qualified record producer I've ever known
Yeah, he
of.
was incredible. Yeah, indeed. Um, as a fan of yours and of music in general, man, it's just you're so interesting to me because of the wide array of genres that you have been associated with throughout your career. What do you attribute that to? You just like bored with music? Not necessarily bored, but like why the different genres? Because usually, like a writer will stick to country or stick to rock, stick to pop, but you're playing and writing and producing music from all genres. Why do you think that is?
I think it's probably from having played on the bandstand, all different kinds of stuff, just to make a living as a musician, as a guitar player or whatever. Um, I was never like a jazz player or anything,
So
but
just
playing a
wanting to
lot
be
of.
ready for whatever a venue asks of you,
Yeah, and
essentially.
the thing is, what's coming, for me is that the songs really dictate what the style is. The
True. Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
of the song kind of tells you what it's going to be, and it's interesting to And a lot of my songwriting activity has been in collaboration with people who are making records, need songs for their records. I'm either producing it or they're just going to make a record and need to write some songs. And so the collaboration, I think, is what led me a lot to having a diversity of genres,
Yeah, I
you
find
know.
that interesting. So essentially, the reason for that is so you can make a living being a musician. So you want to be
Yeah.
able to have every genre, every style in your toolbox. But because of that, as a musician, you become very malleable as a writer and a producer as well, being able to adjust to different collaborators. That's pretty much, you can draw a straight line from those two things, can't you?
Yeah, it's like for me, and I'm saying that be a musical chameleon
Yeah,
of sorts, just to the difference between writing a song with John Prine or writing a song with James Cotton. you know
yeah.
it's it's wild, um, but it's all in the right. The songs are dictating
Yeah.
what it's going to be. It's
It's pretty important to be in tune with an audience too, isn't it? To know what the audiences are enjoying from a live standpoint. Does that help you from a writing and producing standpoint as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you it's if you hadn't played dances, or you hadn't played nightclubs, been on a bandstand and seen how people react to rhythm, it has everything to do with it, I think. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to be a record producer and all that, but I think just knowing where the pocket is, or where the groove and how the rhythm of the words really affects everything
Yeah.
about the feel. And I what was I trying to say? I
Uh,
forgot.